and welcome to another episode of the Peace, Purpose, and Prosperity Podcast. I am your host, Life Coach Shereka Dunston, and today I am joined by a very special guest. Y'all may know her as Coach K Woods, but I call her Keisha. So welcome to the show, Keisha.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody.
I am so excited to have you here on my podcast. You actually allow me to, grace your podcast a few months ago. So I was very excited to return the favor.
Absolutely.
So please introduce yourself to the listeners and the viewers.
All right. Again, my name is Keisha, aka Coach K Woods. I am the founder of Upgraded MindSetz LLC, and I am here to tell you that my purpose is my purpose. And I was so excited when Shereka reached out to talk about that because it is something that I really want to dig more in depth. So why not do that on her podcast?
Yes, indeed. And y'all, let me just say this. Me and Coach K, we only go back like a year, literally a year.
Right.
I feel like I've known her for years.
Oh, I swear. I tell people all the time, when we talk and have, our weekly chats and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, Sheree, they're like, well, how long have you known her? Long enough. Long enough. I love it. Such a safe haven. I appreciate it so much.
Okay. So all that mushy gushy stuff out of the way. I love my Coach Keisha. Anywho, let's talk about purpose. What does purpose mean to you?
Oh man, I honestly did not know what purpose was to me 2 years ago. And this is actually something that I had to build for myself. So I feel like I am my purpose because I knew that I had to break out of a place that was not helping me. And my purpose was to elevate myself so I can bring myself back to elevate others. And that is what I have been doing. It has been an amazing journey and I'm just getting started. So
yes, indeed. When you said I am my purpose, listen, that's real deep, y'all, because so many people think about purpose being like this outside thing that you have to do for other people, and give back to the world. I'm even guilty of, saying things like that. But you said, I am my purpose. And honey, that spoke volumes. You just coached me right there. Woo, come on, Keisha. Come on.
It is. It's like, when I first asked the question, I defaulted to, the outside things. But when I really sat down and kind of reflected, it was like, no, Keisha, you are, where where you were before, where you started, where you are now, where you want to be, so it was just like, it's me.
That really spoke to me because when I sit back and think about my own life and looking over my own journey and how far I've come, and if you follow me on Facebook, especially my personal page, every now and then I'll throw up an old picture, right? Like I put one up recently and I was like, this was a couple years ago and I looked different. Like literally back then, I didn't even know I looked like that, but it was like, wow, when I look back at the pictures, I'm like, I don't even look like that anymore. There's a change there, right?
Absolutely.
And then I think about the changes I made to help me, but honestly, I was helping other people in the process too. And you don't even think about that, but it does start with you.
Yeah, it does. It does. And then when we are able to embrace that, then man, your purpose expands from that. It definitely expands because I'm all about expansion. My purpose is to, reach out to others and, bring them into the same realm and, do things that I did, not necessarily on my exact same journey, but to give them the option to know that it's available to them. That is just, I love that. The speaking on it just actually gives me chills, honestly, because I just know where I came from. And, I was a statistic. I was somebody that, nobody thought was going to live a life of purpose. And here I am today. So I'm
And look at
definitely
you just living
living, baby.
on purpose, living a life of purpose, doing
All
stuff with
about
purpose. It's beautiful. And
it
I've
is.
only known you a year, and it's beautiful to me. So I cannot imagine the people who like know you in real life,
Yeah.
how they're viewing this transformation. And it just brings me back to, just thinking about my own life as a coach. I get this question all the time. How did you become a coach? What inspired you to become a
Yeah.
coach? And I'm always like, my own personal transformation journey. I
My
guess
purpose.
I am my purpose.
My purpose. My purpose. That's a good quote. We're going to have to use that on something.
Yeah,
I
you have to
am
put
my
that on a
purpose.
hoodie or something.
Sound like a plan. We need to put that in the works. But
Yes,
it is.
indeed.
It is like it's just it's an amazing feeling to just have that sense of fulfillment. A lot of people may not necessarily understand it, and unfortunately, it's just not my place to make you understand, because if you don't understand it, you're not trying to understand it. So I have to just, keep pushing and keep striving and keep going with those that do understand and are wanting to embrace it as I do.
Yes, indeed. You got my wheels turning. So future knows when I start to hear things and I start getting ideas.
Mm-hmm.
This is about to turn into a whole Facebook Live. I hope you're prepared, ma'am.
Oh, I'm ready. Always.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to it.
Okay.
Yeah, the world needs to hear this message. I am my purpose. Okay. Let me get back on track. Um, so why do people need purpose?
We need purpose because we need to define, we need to explain and be able to show ourselves in rare form, in full vulnerability birthday suit form. And a lot of us are just running around here just doing things just to be doing it with no sense of direction on anything. And it really is starting to show. Society is really crutched right now. And I just think it's because a lot of people just don't have any sense of direction on anything. So, creating and having some type of purpose, I feel can keep some type of discipline in your life, keep some type of consistency in your life, keep some type of clarity in your life, because you will always have your purpose to go back to when you have a distraction or when, something tries to deter you away. You always know, to go back to that. And I think that's a good base for anybody and, to help them be better in themselves and everybody else. So
Yes, it like keeps you on track when you get distracted, and there are so many distractions, right? But if you go back to your purpose, you'll get right back on
right
track,
back.
going in an intentional direction, because so
Yes,
many people are out here just doing stuff just to be doing it, or
they
maybe
are.
they're doing it because that's what people expect them to do, or they think they can get some quick money off of it
Yes.
without a real purpose, and then they
No.
wonder why everything flops and nothing
That's when
turns
the
out the way
frustration
they
comes
expect.
in. That's when I don't understand why this isn't working, because you're just basically going on an empty palette. What is the meaning behind it? You can't just go in, as I call the get rich quick scheme type, with that mentality and expect any type of long-term, anything. It's just not going to happen. So, and your purpose can change. I think a lot of people don't really get that either. You can change course. It's okay. Just don't change course because you are fearful. Change course because that's what your inner, soul is telling you to do. You are following intuitions. You are going with what you are driving yourself. You're not just blindly, leading yourself to a river, so there has to be some type of definition, and purpose is definitely what I suggest anybody gets in their life. You have to have it. It just has to be there.
Yes, indeed. And it is okay to pivot. Like Coach K said, it's okay. Listen, over my journey of being a coach since 2013, coming
Hello.
up on 9 years. It'll
Woo,
be nine
baby.
years in March.
Yes.
I made so many pivots
Yeah.
because I listened to my intuition. And it's like, right now you're supposed to do something else. Shoot, I'm making a whole pivot right now with my
Yeah.
coaching, and it feels so good. And every
Yeah.
time it feels good, I get my spark back, because when I'm doing something that's out of alignment and is outside of my new purpose, it doesn't feel good. It feels
Right.
like work. And this isn't supposed to feel like work. This is supposed to feel like joy and peace and fun.
Absolutely. I agree with that. That's one thing, coming out of corporate America into full-time entrepreneurship, because it was like, okay, I'm getting into this, but is this something that I really want to do on the long term? And in the beginning, when I first started, I didn't have that clarity, but because my purpose became stronger and stronger, it told me, hey, you where you supposed to be, sis. Keep doing what you're doing, make modifications as necessary, but you are on the right path, and let's stay on this path. I love it. I love
I
it.
love it too, because you always see signs when you're
Yep.
on the right path. They're like, keep going. Almost there. Nope, keep going. Just a
Yep.
little bit more. And it
Absolutely.
feels so good to
It
just
really
get that
does.
confirmation.
Yeah, it does. I never, just like I said, I never would have thought in a million years, and I really tell this story, excuse me, now, because I'm like, I realized in 2019, I had no desire to be an entrepreneur. I wasn't even thinking about being an entrepreneur. I had no thought process whatsoever with that. So, but I always had that, looking back, I always had that purpose of trying to guide other people, talk to other people, keep them in positive spirits. I always had that in me, but I was still, ready. I wasn't ready to take my own journey. So it was coming off a little distorted, but looking back, I knew my purpose then. I just wasn't able to receive it because I still had other things to work on. So it's just amazing to be able to look back from where I've been and see where I'm at now. And it's just like, girl,
Look at you,
woo.
just transforming and elevating and evolving. It's a
Yes.
beautiful thing. I love it.
It is. It is. I really enjoy it. I sleep so peacefully at night, knowing that I go to sleep, with a sense of fulfillment. I wake up with just as much, I don't tell people that I have, there are not trying days, but they will never outweigh my purpose to elevate me and other women. It will never outweigh that. So.
Yes, indeed. So, Keisha, you work with women. You're helping all these people upgrade and elevate their lives.
Absolutely.
So, when you're working with women and, maybe someone is having a hard time finding their purpose, how do you help them? What do you tell them?
Well, sometimes I have to, kind of get a little tough. I am not a sugarcoater by any means. I tell, people all the time, I am not system standard. And in order for us to be able to break free from our self-limiting restrictions, we have to become accountable. That is a big, big thing. Accountability is half the battle. And we actually would work on things to help you take that big step. Because taking that step is going to open your eyes to say, you know what? Yes, I did see those signs and I ignored them. I did see those things that were going on. And yes, I loved doing it, but I ignored it because I was scared or because I was worried about what other people are going to say, so talking with another woman with regards to finding her purpose, we're going to get our accountability together first. We're going to get some clarity about what we want short-term and long-term, and we are going to put some policies in place to make that happen.
Yes, indeed. Accountability, clarity, and policies.
Absolutely.
Listen, Coach K Woods is not playing with y'all. So if you're trying to work with her,
Yeah.
don't come in there playing. Don't be
No.
acting like, ooh, I don't know, maybe. She is not that
We
type
don't
of
do
coach.
the maybes. We don't do the maybes, but I also, have had enough life experience to understand that, we might be a little hesitant to, speak on things. We might be a little scared to, because we're fearful of being judged. You know, I have had all of those experiences, you know, relationship wise, family wise, friend wise. I probably have gone through something that I can relate to almost any woman at this point in my life, you know, but one thing is for sure, that our purpose definitely trumps everything, ladies. And it's just that something that we just need to make happen.
Say that. Your purpose will outweigh any relationship or friendship, job, or anything that's in your life, man.
Absolutely.
Like, you are here for a reason. And I think it's really important to say that, because if you watch the media nowadays, or if you read a newspaper, all of these deaths by suicide are there. And, you know, I'm not here to speculate. I understand mental health challenges deeply. However, I just feel as though people have some sense of purpose. Maybe, just maybe, they would seek additional treatment before leaving this earth. Yeah. That's my hope. And I just want people to have hope and to know that, like, hey, you're here, not for us necessarily, but for you.
For you. Absolutely. You know, it's no secret that we haven't been through some crazy times and still experiencing them, you know, to this day, you know, but one thing is for sure, that we all have the capability to be our best selves. You know, it just requires us to put in a little bit of extra work, you know, get a little uncomfortable for the time. But I'm telling you, the benefits of stepping out of that zone for a little while is going to be tremendous. You are going to be so proud of yourself. You are going to, you know, not hesitate to celebrate, you know, your journey, and, you know, your clarity and your purpose is just going to become more and more clear. Next thing you know, it's going to pop. You're going to be like, that's it. It's just going to pop right up for you, you know? So it is just something that we have to do. And like Shereka said, we need that. You know, we need some order in our lives, you know, and, you know, just bouncing around from place to place and looking on social media to social media. The social media, me personally, is designed to, you know, keep us held back. So it's up to you to kind of just do that little bit of extra and keep that positive in there so you can keep yourself on the right track.
Yes, indeed. And don't be afraid to, like, disconnect from social media. And I know I've had this conversation with Coach K before, how she actually took, you know, some time off social media. Tell us about how that helped you in your own journey.
So April of 2020, I took a 30-day fast from social media. That was pretty much at the heightened time of, you know, the pandemic, where we weren't certain about a lot of things. You know, March of 2020, we were on complete lockdown. Everything was shut down. Social media was the only way of communication for a lot of us. And I had to break away from it. I was at a kind of a mental breaking point, and I needed to get some clarity about myself, you know. So it was a very, very, very complete experience for me. I came back after those 30 days completely refreshed, completely focused, and having really, really sharp visions on where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, and how I wanted to do it. Now, modifications have been made since then, but I took the steps to initiate the hardest part, and that was beginning the transformation process for myself. And, you know, I don't care if it's a day or 3 days. We should always break from something, you know, that can be a negative influence on us. You know, the sanest person has had their mental well-being challenged during these times. And we have to remember that these are different times that we're living in. So therefore, we need to do different things. The same policies that might have worked for our parents, our grandparents, you know, aren't going to work for us. So we have to just understand that we have to create the policy for us to keep the clarity, to keep us pushing. It's just got to happen. And I have no problem with taking a break from anything when I need to. I am completely unapologetic in stepping back, putting my phone on do not disturb, not answering calls, not even from my mother. You know, I am completely unapologetic with that. And we have to just be firm with our values, you know, and we able to do that. I really think that, you know, we'll get some type of softness, you know, in society.
Yes, indeed. It's okay to take a break. We need to take breaks. Yes. All of this overstimulation isn't good anyway. There's too much stimuli going around. Like our parents and our grandparents did not grow up in this type of world. And they definitely weren't stuck in a pandemic like we are now, this ongoing pandemic that seems never ending. But even though we mostly communicate with some type of technology now, whether it's a phone, an email, a text message, a DM, whatever, like it's okay to take a break. It's healthy to take a break. It doesn't have to be for a whole month, but detox a little bit, y'all. Give your brains a break and take some time for you. Get to know yourself better, get that mental clarity, and figure out where are you supposed to go? Like, what's the direction? Where is your purpose
direction?
You?
Yep. You have direction. You have purpose. It's there. Everybody has it. No one should ever feel like they don't have any type of meaning in their life. You do. Whether it's, a job that you are ready to leave and you're like, okay, if I leave this job, what am I going to do? I won't have any purpose. You definitely will. You will have the purpose of healthy mental well-being.
Yes, indeed.
So, and that should be your number one priority. We see people, and especially among the Black culture, this is an unfortunate thing, but suicide is high among us Blacks, and people don't want to talk about that, but it's the reality of things. I definitely researched that and was really startled to find that out, a year and a half ago, like, wow, it's really us. But we suppress it and we're scared to discuss those things, because of how we were raised and, what we were told when we were growing up. But we're no longer living like that, y'all. It's time to break free from that.
Yes, indeed. And it's okay to seek help. Like
Absolutely.
It is quite all right to find some help. There are hotlines, there are therapists, like all that, y'all. Get some help. We are going through some trying times. These are hard times. We've never lived through anything like this before. So as Keisha said before, the policies we used in our lives before, they may not apply now. We have to do something different, but our priority has to be our mental and emotional well-being, despite how anybody else feels, because as Coach K said, you are your purpose. That's it.
Period, y'all. It's just that simple. I know it can be difficult, but it really is easy. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Do not be afraid to talk to somebody. And that's somebody outside of your comfort zone, somebody outside of the family, somebody outside of the friend zone. There's nothing wrong with conversation. I want us to shake the stigma of being scared to ask for help.
Yes, indeed. And asking for help does not make you crazy.
At all. Trust me, I used to feel that way, y'all, but it's not. I am having the best clarity of my life right now. Besides me waking up every morning thinking about a new way to elevate upgraded mindsets, my clarity is pretty dope.
I love it. And so, since you brought up upgraded mindsets, you may as well tell us about upgraded mindsets and UPM suites and all the stuff you were working on.
Definitely. Well, I am the founder of Upgraded Mindsets LLC, and Upgraded Mindsets is actually working with women who are, stuck in their self-limiting beliefs, and they just don't have a plan of action to break away from that. We are going to work on realigning your values so you can recondition your mind to live your best life. I'm all about us living life unapologetically. And in order for us to do that, we have to break away from the self-doubt, the fear of change. All of those things have to be replaced with confidence and, priority and organization, anything you want to, on a positive level. I am a co-founder of UPM Suites, which I co-founded with two of my amazing business partners, Mui and Passy, and we are elevating those here in our community with small business branding, marketing, helping them, with designs and, anything that they may need to help them on an entrepreneurial level and personal branding level. My coaching services kind of get warped into into there as well, because in order for you to elevate your brand, you definitely have to make sure the mind is all the way together. So all of that is incorporated together. I currently am hosting my first Mindset Motivation Workshop here in Peoria, Illinois, February 26th. And I am Mindset Motivation, and it's just a self-growth workshop for 25 ladies to be able to come in and hear me speak, get guided by me, and just kind of give them some dope tips and tools to help them grow long-term. I actually have a couple of podcasts I'm appearing on here in the next couple of weeks. I have a big event that literally I just announced yesterday, April 9th. So there's just a lot going on, but it's all about, elevating us ladies. I'm all about empowering us, keeping us on the positive path, and just making sure that we know that our journey is necessary.
Yes, yes. I am so excited for you and all that you're doing.
Thank you.
It's amazing to witness. And when, this pandemic is over and we can go outside and I can feel safe outside, I'm going to have to make a trip to see you up in Peoria.
Or I'm coming to see you. One of the two. It's definitely got to happen. It's definitely got to happen.
Hey, Coach K.
Yeah, you are just you're so like inspirational in just so many ways. I love how we're able to just bounce so many things off of each other. We have become a tribe, and it's just amazing. I'm so grateful for you. You have definitely been, a big factor in, me elevating and things. So I'm forever grateful and appreciative for you and your knowledge and Black Life Coach Connection, all of that, because it's just so dope. So
thank you. And let me just tell you something. You inspire me. Like for real, seriously, like all the things you're doing in your community, all the work. I mean, even your office. And I've had this conversation with teachers. Your office is so dope. Like, I want to work outside of my house one day in a beautiful office and see people and, do all that stuff. Like, that's cute. And I'm like, man, that's something to aspire to. And I am just in awe at your growth, at the work that you do. I mean, your followers love you.
Thank you.
Let me just say that, because you're so dope. And what you do and the way you do it is so unique. And it's so, so necessary. I love it. And I'm happy to be a witness to all of this.
I appreciate that.
Online right now, but one day it won't be online. It'll be in person.
Absolutely. We claiming that. It's coming. We are claiming that, ladies. We don't have to suffer. We don't have to struggle. We don't have to live with the negative stresses of life. Don't think that you have to be stressed to be successful. You do not. You do not.
No, because we live in stress-free, honey.
I'm telling you, I sleep very good every night.
Me too. It's a good way to live. It's so funny because when I left my job, and I know you left your job, like a year before I ever left my job. But when I left my job, I think everybody was worried that I would be like stressed out and sad. I don't know. So people call and check on me, like my old coworkers say, how are you doing? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm living my best life.
You only knew how good things was for me right now.
Right. Like, I'm having fun. I'm hanging out with my family. I am coaching. I'm doing all the things I want to do on my terms. Absolutely. It's a great way to live.
It is a phenomenal way to live. Even if you don't want to be, a full-time entrepreneur, make sure you are doing something that has your purpose. With society the way it is now, we can find the job that aligns with our values and aligns with our purpose. Don't let anyone tell you that you have to just take something just because. You do not. Find something that aligns with you. This is the time to definitely do it. That's for sure.
Yes, indeed. And I was a second that, I never thought I would be a full-time entrepreneur. I liked having a job and working, my business part-time. However, I will say this, I've had jobs that brought me joy, and I can't deny that. And when they brought me joy, like, they were great, and I love being there. And it's okay to work a job that makes you happy. You don't have to be miserable at work, whatever that work is and whatever that work looks like. Entrepreneurship isn't for everybody, and full-time entrepreneurship isn't for everybody. But whatever it is that you're doing, have fun.
You've got to. Life is just too short. We're not spending it stressed and overwhelmed and, wondering about the what ifs. We're going to make the what ifs happen.
That's it. That is it. So, Coach K Woods, I'm gonna call you all types of names. I keep alternating.
Hey, I take it off. I take it off.
But okay. So please tell our listeners and our viewers how they can find you online.
Oh my God, you guys, I am everywhere. I'm on all social media platforms at Coach KAYWDS, and that means TikTok, that means Instagram, Facebook. I am on LinkedIn under Keisha, KISHA Woods, WOODS. I have Empowering Real Talk podcast that you can find on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel at the Empowering Real Talk podcast. So I'm pretty much everywhere. You guys can find me. Shoot me a message. Let's talk about your elevation. Let's talk about, just making sure we make things happen, but I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere, lighting up, motivating, empowering, and inspiring. So definitely be sure to follow your girl. I will definitely follow you back. So
yes, indeed. And Google her. You can Google Coach Keisha.
You definitely can. It's Coach KAYWDS, Upgraded Mindsets LLC is definitely Googleable. I love that word, Googleable. I just love saying that. But yes, I am pretty much everywhere. My blog at upgradedmindsets.life, my online store at upgradedmindsets.shop. You can pretty much find me any and everywhere. I am definitely not hard to find. So y'all find this cute face somewhere, lurking somewhere, talking somewhere.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for being a guest. This has been so much fun.
It has. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure talking with you. I appreciate you allowing me here today. It's been so dope. Super dope.
Listen, I'm going to have to get you back on the podcast again. But we'll talk about that later.
Let me know. You know I'm down.
Thank you again. And thank you, listeners and viewers, for tuning in to another episode of the Peace, Purpose, and Prosperity podcast. I am your host, Life Coach Shereka Dunston.
Bye, guys.